There is a particular kind of maturity that feels older than the body carrying it. It does not develop gradually. It appears suddenly, almost urgently. A child begins speaking like an adult, managing like an adult, thinking like an adult. They are described as so responsible, so understanding, so independent. But responsibility that forms too early is not always a sign of strength. Often, it is a sign of adaptation. Growing up too fast is not a personality trait. It is a developmental shift caused by environment, and the environment shapes the nervous system. In ideal development, a child experiences layers of safety. They are allowed to depend before they are expected to lead. They are allowed to feel before they are expected to regulate others. But when the environment is unstable, emotionally, financially, relationally, the system reorganizes. The brain asks a silent question: what is required to maintain safety here? If the answer is responsibility, the child becomes responsible. If the answer is emotional containment, the child becomes composed. If the answer is silence, the child becomes quiet. The nervous system prioritizes survival over spontaneity. Play becomes secondary. Alertness becomes primary. This shift is intelligent, but it comes at a cost. Psychology uses the term parentification to describe a reversal of roles. This does not always look dramatic. It can be subtle. A child who comforts a parent regularly, a child who manages siblings emotionally, a child who avoids expressing their own distress to not make things worse. There are two types: emotional parentification, where the child becomes a psychological support figure; instrumental parentification, where the child takes on practical adult tasks. Both accelerate maturity, but both also compress development, because development requires being cared for, not primarily being the caretaker. Early responsibility alters neural wiring. The amygdala, responsible for threat detection, may become more active. The prefrontal cortex, responsible for planning and control, may develop adaptive efficiency earlier. The child becomes skilled at reading facial expressions. Tone shifts, microsignals of tension. This builds emotional intelligence, but it can also build hypervigilance. Hypervigilance is subtle. It feels like scanning, like monitoring, like anticipating. It becomes automatic. Even in safe environments later in life, the brain may continue scanning, not because danger exists, but because it once did. Being the calm one, emotions are compressed. Instead of expressing fear, the child absorbs it. Instead of asking for comfort, they provide it. Over time, emotional suppression becomes a skill. In adulthood, this may appear as composure, but internally, unprocessed emotions do not disappear. They remain stored as tension, as tight shoulders, as chronic overthinking, as difficulty identifying needs. The person may be deeply empathetic toward others, but unclear about themselves. When growing up happens too quickly, identity often forms around usefulness. I am valuable because I am reliable. I am safe because I am responsible. I am accepted because I don't create problems. These beliefs operate quietly. They are rarely spoken, but they guide behavior. As adults, these individuals often take on extra work automatically, struggle to delegate, feel discomfort when resting, apologize for needing help. Their nervous system associates usefulness with belonging. Rest can feel undeserved, not consciously, but physiologically. May. Solve conflicts quickly. Avoid may. Solve conflicts quickly. Avoid vulnerability. Become the emotional stabilizer. They may attract partners who need guidance, because familiarity feels safe. If chaos was normal in childhood, calm partnership may initially feel unfamiliar. If control maintains stability, letting go may feel risky. This does not mean dysfunction. It means conditioning. From the outside, early maturity is praised. Teachers admire it. Family relies on it. Peers respect it. But praise can reinforce over-adaptation. The child learns that strength equals silence. Maturity equals suppression. Value equals self-control. True development includes flexibility, but accelerated maturity can become rigid. Rigidity feels like strength, but strength without softness becomes tension. Even decades later, the body may carry early roles: sleep disturbances, difficulty relaxing, persistent productivity drive. These patterns are not flaws. They are nervous system memory. The body learned that alertness kept things stable. When adulthood offers safety, the body may not immediately update, because the nervous system trusts repetition more than logic. It responds to consistency. In adulthood, these may feel. In adulthood, these may feel uncomfortable. Play can feel unproductive. Vulnerability can feel risky. Asking for help can feel exposing. But reclaiming these experiences does not mean becoming irresponsible. It means widening identity. Responsibility and softness can coexist. Strength and rest can coexist. Competence and play can coexist. The nervous system can learn that stability does not require constant control. There is a difference between forced maturity and integrated maturity. Forced maturity is reactive, it develops under pressure. Integrated maturity is flexible, it includes boundaries, it includes vulnerability, it includes rest. When someone who grew up too fast begins to feel safe enough to relax, something changes. The scanning decreases, the internal pressure softens, the need to anticipate every outcome reduces. This is not regression, it is recalibration. Growing up too fast is not a diagnosis, it is a pattern, a system that adapted to early conditions. Understanding the pattern creates space, it separates identity from adaptation. You are responsible becomes you had to be responsible. That distinction matters, because what was necessary once may no longer be required. Growing up too fast often looks admirable, and it often was necessary, but necessity is not the same as identity. The child who stabilized everything deserves adulthood that feels stable without effort. The system learned early efficiency. It can also learn balance. True maturity is not early control. It is regulated flexibility. It is knowing when to carry and when to set down. Growing up too fast shaped the structure. Growing at a natural pace restores integration. And integration allows strength without strain. That is where real stability begins. Because in early life, control reduced. Because in early life, control reduced uncertainty. As adults, these individuals often function at a high level. They anticipate needs, they prevent problems before they appear, they rarely collapse under pressure, but internally, the nervous system may remain slightly activated. Rest can feel unfamiliar. Unstructured time can feel uncomfortable, not because they enjoy stress, but because performance once created safety. Over time, this creates a paradox. Externally competent, internally tense. The system does not know how to power down fully. In adulthood, this turns into quiet. In adulthood, this turns into quiet self-sufficiency. They solve their own problems. They regulate their own emotions. They carry their own weight. But receiving care can feel unnatural. Support may be declined automatically. Vulnerability may feel unnecessary. Not because trust is impossible, but because the nervous system learned that stability depended on self-control. Over time, this creates distance. Others see strength. They do not always see the effort behind it. Learning to receive does not weaken identity, it redistributes it. Growing up too fast is not undone by rejecting responsibility. It is integrated by expanding it. Responsibility can remain. Competence can remain, but softness can be added. Integration begins when effort becomes choice rather than reflex. When rest is allowed without guilt. When emotion is expressed without calculation. When support is accepted without negotiation. The nervous system updates slowly. It responds to repeated safety. Safety without performance. Connection without overfunctioning. Stillness without consequence. Maturity built under pressure is strong, but maturity that includes flexibility is stronger. Growing up too fast shaped the system. Integration allows the system to relax without losing structure, and that shift changes everything.